I just wanted to give a quick follow-up to the last video since I did a couple things and made a little progress. So my wastegate is mocked up. Comes up, wires off right there, off that little shiny pipe down there. Mounts right here. Ooh, that's still toasty warm. And this is the dump tube that joins it into the downpipe with a little piece of flex, so whenever the heat gets to it, it won't break the welds. And it just 90s over back into the pipe, and there's a hole drilled there, obviously. But I just got done tacking this up. I've got to pull it, throw some more tacks on there to make sure it stays where it's at, and then weld this piece. Everything else is welded. This part back here is welded, even though it looks like shit. It is welded. Oh, excuse me. My helper down here. She's been ready to go in for about an hour probably. But anyways, so there's another view of the wastegate where it's mounted. I still have to plumb the lines to it. I don't know if I want to use those like nylon lines or if I'm just gonna run like rubber vacuum lines for it. I don't think the rubber lines will be a problem because it's not that high of a pressure that it's going to be seeing. So I might just run what's easy. And as for my oil drain, I showed you before, this is it. Loops down around there, goes down to that, and it's just the slack is looped around up here. I got my other piece cleaned up. I'm gonna take it to my fab guy Monday, which I think is tomorrow. But I cleaned it all up to bare where it's gonna be welded. And I just left the bolts here to make sure that when he welds it, the bolts can still get in it. And I brought a fitting to make sure the fitting can still thread on and off. And that's how it's gonna be. All it is just the threads, MPT threads chopped off, and the top of this chopped down a little bit to gain some clearance. And this should work. The only thing that I fear is that it might not have enough gravity feed, like I said before, to go down the oil pan. We'll see if it burns oil. If it does, honestly, I don't know what else to do to fix it because I can't really route it anywhere else. I mean, there's nothing but exhaust down underneath right there, so I don't think I can even route it to this side of the oil pan on the passenger side. I might be able to go down and then through this little gap right here above the sway bar, maybe below the belts, above the sway bar. But in order to do that, you can't drop this oil pan with it in the car. You have to pull the motor to get the oil pan off because of the way this cross member setup is. So hopefully that's not a problem, or it'll be waiting until I get a roller 350 or a 351. And yeah, this wastegate tube is I'm excited about. There's a little bit of a gap up top there. Whoa, sorry. I can branch that, no problem. I can bridge that. That was the only place where it didn't have tight fitment. Everything else is tight on it. But I think with this flex and the fact that the wastegate itself can clock to fit up, I don't think it'll be an issue. And this downpipe also has a little bit of play because it actually doesn't have a centering ring. I'll show you on one of these. See how this has this little lip right there? It has a little groove on this side that kind of locks it in place. The downpipe does not, it's just flat. The turbo has a dip in it to where it could take one, but I don't know why the flange they sent me is just flat. So it can actually, it's got a little bit of playroom because the clamp, when it tightens down, it doesn't center it. So it just pulls it in. I don't know if you follow that, but regardless, I've got a little playroom though, that's what I'm getting at. So this will end up getting fiberglass wrapped. This probably won't, I'm guessing. So hopefully I can figure out how to make these welds a little bit prettier than these shitty ones. I'll probably take my time a little bit more welding these, at least the top part of it, so the top is pretty. The underside doesn't really get seen, so I'll probably start on the top and then move to the bottom. But yeah, all this will get fiberglass wrapped. Most of the crossover down there is gonna get fiberglass wrapped probably. And this downpipe, you know, on down is gonna be fiberglass wrapped so it doesn't melt that stuff. I'm also kind of concerned, I don't think the engine will get hot enough to melt this nylon since it's running across right here. But if it does, then that might end up being another problem. If it melts through my fucking oil return, that's gonna be a bad day. Anyways, made the video long enough. I'll bring it back probably sometime during the week whenever I have that drain welded up and fit up, and maybe the oil return done, and hopefully this welded up. And I think I've got to go through a checklist, but I think once this is done and at least down, I'm gonna extend it a little bit past this because I still have to weld on my O2 bungs, but I think I'll be able to fire it up. Fingers crossed, but I'm guessing maybe a week or two and I can at least start it. It won't be drivable, but it'll be able to start, and that'll be a huge step for me. I'll be super thrilled. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Later.